one of the biggest sleeper hits of the year, and the rare horror film to not just nosedive after that first weekend of release. It's been in the top 3 now for a month going. Let's talk about Smile. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new supernatural horror film, Smile. This is in theaters right now, and even though Halloween Ends is only in its second weekend, Smile in its fourth weekend just beat it at the box office. So, listen, this is the kind of movie that studios just dream about. It was made for about $17 million, and so far worldwide, it's made upwards of $175 million and still going strong. So very, very interesting story here. But how good is the movie? That's what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as I can be. I'm going to give you some very, very minimal plot details as we go into this. But first, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. Tons more where that came from. Lots of movie and TV stuff on the channel for you to peruse. And please think about subscribing down below there. Would love to have you aboard in that way. All right, so this is starring Sosie Bacon, who is the daughter, yes, of Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick. And this was written and directed by Parker Finn. It is a debut for him as a director. It's based on a short story of his or a short film of his, I should say, called Laura Hasn't Slept. Look, people dream of this out of the gate, for such a big sleeper hit. And what's funny about this movie is it actually was never supposed to go to theaters. It was going to be a Paramount Plus exclusive. Or maybe they were going to do sort of day and date, kind of like they did with the latest Orphan movie. They put it on Paramount Plus and then put it in like a very small amount of theaters for a couple of weeks. But then the test screenings just got this crazy good response from people. And so they thought, okay, well, maybe we'll put it out, let's put it out like a couple of weeks before Halloween Ends, because that'll obviously be the big horror movie of the season. But then, Halloween Ends, spoiler alert for my review on that film, it stinks. So, word went around very quickly about that. And so the second weekend of Halloween Ends just took a nosedive. But so this movie, Smile, that was never even supposed to go to theaters, has a huge, huge response from audiences, and it just keeps on going, which is very rare for a horror movie. I mean, the Stephen King book, that did, that went very, very strong, although that debuted so highly, I guess it sort of did kind of crash after that first couple weekends anyway, but to still be in the top 3 as a horror movie after 4 weeks, that is impressive. So the very, very basic sort of bare bones plot of this is the Sosie Bacon plays a therapist who witnesses a patient's suicide it's like the first or second scene of the movie, so that's not really giving too much away. But after that, she goes through some increasingly disturbing experiences, leading her to believe that something is going on supernaturally around her. And that's all I think that needs to be said about this. I want y'all to go in fresh if you're going to see this, if you haven't already. But if you have, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of this movie? Because we've had quite a few good horror movies this year. Really good ones. Things that I've given A- and B+ to. I'll be honest, I'm not sure this is quite on that level. And the main reason is tons of jump scares. Way too many. It is the laziest thing that a horror filmmaker can do. I say it all the time. The whole jump scare thing, if you put in a couple, all right, I understand. But I mean, this movie just has them over and over and over and over again. And it really takes you out of the actual like authenticity of what the character is going through, I think. So I'm not going to grade it as high as some of those other movies of the year, like The Black Phone and X and Pearl, and even the new Scream movie, which I really, really liked, that was out way early this year. But this comes pretty close because of everything else around it. First of all, Bacon gives a great performance. You truly believe that she is very terrified of what's going on, and that she also doesn't really have any idea of what is going on around her, and why, and how is this happening, and all of that. And we get, as she does, we as the audience get sort of, some crumbs along the way. And then at one point, we really learn how to stop this from happening. And I won't go into detail about that, but I like what they did there with that, because it's a big sort of human conundrum, and I think it tells us a little bit more about a character. This is not a character piece, though. We don't really know a ton about these characters. She's in this relationship that isn't going that well, and whatever, and she's very flighty with her family, and but overall we don't really know much about her, and I like that, because like another movie sort of like this, it does it much better in that one, but It Follows, where this could happen to anybody. This is not specific to, okay, well, this person is some hot blonde virgin. No, this could happen to anybody, and so I like kind of that they're not giving us a ton of character development here, much like the movie It Follows, and like that movie, there is something that's gonna get you. When is another question, but and how is a question too. But It Follows. Now, I haven't seen It Follows for about 5 years, so maybe I'm misremembering some of the details there. But this movie reminded me a lot of that, and all in positive ways. I didn't necessarily think it was ripping off It Follows, but I think there were some definite nods to that sort of storytelling that I really appreciated. So if it weren't for the jump scares, I think we really would have one of the best horror movies of the year. I could see maybe in the A- range, maybe B+ on the lower end. But it's just too often with the jump scares and everything that kind of comes with that. The audio gets really loud, loud or quiet, whatever it demands. And then we get, the crash or something, and it's like a, picture falling off a shelf or whatever. It's like, dude, we got it. So I hated that part of it. And so I can't grade it as high as some of the other best horror movies of the year, but I understand why this is a buzzed about movie. Obviously, they had some great marketing with this, leaving the actors and actresses at the baseball game sort of behind the dugout with those creepy smiles. Great word of mouth tool, no pun intended, for this movie, and it obviously has worked out, and the word of mouth has spread. People enjoy seeing it. I think this is a very good movie, but too many jump scares. I leave Smile with a B. I could even say B- on it, but I liked everything else about it was so good, so I'm confident with my B on that one. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.